Hey barbecue family, Kenyatta here. Today I'm trying something new, so bear with me. I'm going live, so I'm actually live. It's Sunday, November the 15th. Just trying out an entirely new setup, a new approach, so bear with me if there are glitches, technical issues. All of this is new to me, but I'm hoping that this will be a good experience and a way for me to communicate and connect with you all and get videos out a little bit quicker. So we're going to give this a shot. I know I did not announce this going live, so it may take a while for anyone to come and check me out. Maybe no one will check me out. I don't know. My channel's not that big, so I'm not really expecting a whole lot of feedback. Really just trying to see how this goes. So while I wait for some folks to come in, I am going to play my intro video and we'll connect on the other side. Alright, so we're back here. As I was playing that video, I got some messages saying that there might have been some audio feedback, so I tried to make some adjustments. Like I said, guys, this is all completely brand new to me, so really just experiencing everything here on the fly and hoping that it's not a complete disaster. Alright, so anyway, again, if you've never joined me before, my name is Kenyatta Robinson, and I have a YouTube channel, the Backyard SmokeMaster BBQ channel that I started a couple of years ago. It started with the, I got my first greetings. Looks like from Schultz34, greetings from Alabama. Thank you, Schultz, for joining me. If you didn't join me from the outset, this is my very first time going live, so all of this is a totally new experience for me. Just using this new software and hoping that it goes okay, so I do appreciate you tuning in. As I was saying, I started my channel a couple of years ago. It all started with the arrival of my Lone Star Grill's 42-inch offset smoker, and my daughter happened to be filming it as the delivery guy was trying to get it off of his truck, and I think he must have been pretty new at the job because the whole experience was a little bit scary. I had been waiting for quite some time for this smoker to arrive. It's really been, something that I had saved up a lot for, and it was kind of like my crown jewel of all of my smokers. Oh, hey Wayne, thank you for joining. I appreciate. I know you've been with me pretty much from the outset from my channel and have been very consistent in providing feedback, so I really do appreciate you tuning in to my first attempt at a live broadcast. So anyway, as I was saying, smoker almost fell off of the truck. My daughter caught it on film. Got some feedback to that video, and then I decided to do kind of like a unboxing walk around video on my LSG. And that really, started my channel. A lot of people responded back to that video very positively, and then I just decided to keep going. It was really just kind of like my experience being a new guy smoking with a stick burner. It had been my first time doing that, and got some good feedback. So today, what I'm doing while I try this live video is I'm actually smoking some spare ribs. Just got one slab going. A little bit later I'll probably either do some corn or some potatoes, but I've got them going on my one of my Hunsaker drums. And let me see if I can give you guys a quick look at that. Thanks again, Wayne. I really do appreciate it. Alright, so that's the drum, the Hunsaker that I've got going today. Gonna peek in probably in another half hour or so. They've been on for about an hour and a half. So I'll give it another look and see how they're coming along. So again, guys, I appreciate you watching. Let me know if you have any topics, any questions that you have. In the meantime, I will say that, I've been eyeballing the Weber Charcoal Summit grill for quite some time. From when it first came out a few years ago. It was had a little bit of sticker shock going on, but it always intrigued me. It looked like a very well-built grill smoker, very versatile. I like that it's charcoal as opposed to, like a pellet smoker. I already have one of those. But I'm really trying to stick to things that, don't have moving parts, that don't have the potential to break down on me. So that Weber Summit charcoal looked really good to me. And recently they've announced that they've kind of revamped it a little bit. They're coming out with I think now they're calling it the Weber Kamado charcoal Summit grill or something to that effect. I know that they've put the word Kamado into the title, and I think one of the differences, they've lowered the price. First off, there's two models. There's one that comes with a cart and then another one that doesn't have the cart. So I think the original price of the Weber charcoal Summit grill with the cart was about $19.99. And I think now the latest version is going to be, I think it's $16.99. I'll have to double check that, but I think the price is $16.99. So it will still have a cart, and it will also have like a charcoal starter, similar to what Weber has on their Performer grills. I think they've also revamped the cart a little bit. I don't think it's quite as solid steel. I think now it might be a different material, or the bottom of it isn't. I don't know. It's not built quite the same. And I think there are also some containers that you could hold your charcoal in that they've also removed, I believe. So they've lowered that price, and then the version that doesn't come with a cart is now $999. And I think that's a more palatable price. So they haven't quite announced exactly when they're going to be selling it yet. I've kind of been monitoring this on the Amazing Ribs forum. I've heard some chatter that it will probably come out sometime after the new year. So I've got my eye on that, even though I've already got a ton of grills, ton of smokers. Right now, that's the one that's kind of been in my eye for quite some time. I do have another ceramic smoker, a Kamado Joe. I've got the original classic version, and I love it. It's one of my most versatile cookers, because you can cook food at high temperature grilling. You can also smoke at low temperatures. There are additional attachments, a ton of accessories. Kamado Joe is always coming out with new accessories. I really enjoy using it with a fan, to help control the temperature. It just makes it really, really easy. So that is one of my more versatile cookers that I've got. But my only problem with it is it's a little bit on the small side. I think if I had to do it over again at the time that I bought it, I probably would have gone for the Big Joe. Because sometimes you just run out of space, and it's good to have that extra space. Let me pause here. I see Wayne has a comment here. Yes, the new one is right at $1,700 for the cart model. Lower shelf, yeah, is wire, and the charcoal bin is gone. The diffuser plate holder on the bottom of the lower shelf is also gone. That's right. And Wayne is talking about the new, the revised version of the Weber Kamado Summit Charcoal Grill. Schultz also asked me, is the Hunsaker worth the price? Yes, I do wholeheartedly think that the Hunsaker is worth the price. Oh, hi, KB BBQ Barbecue, thank you. I appreciate you for joining. Also, hi to Two Step 69. He asked me, he says, hello stranger, I thought you were gone, or I thought you had gave it up. How's the family? Well, thank you for asking. Yeah, it has been a while since I posted a new video. One of the reasons was because I have been dealing with a lot of family care issues with regard to my dad, and he is doing much better. He's back at home. If you don't know, he had spinal stenosis surgery, and he had been away from the house for, gosh, about a month and a half, maybe close to 2 months. But he's back at home. We just celebrated his 80th birthday last weekend, and so it's going well. It's slow going, but honestly, it really couldn't go any better, than what I had hoped for. So really good. Hi, Graham from London. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. But yeah, so combination of dealing, issues with my dad, and then also I just been wanting to try something different. So actually, I've kind of been, preparing to do this live, give this a shot. And every time I thought I was ready to go live, I kept coming across another kind of like a technical hiccup. And I thought, oh, it's just going to be a disaster if I go through with it now. So that's really been kind of the reasons why it's taken me a while. But getting back to the Hunsaker question. So, the Hunsaker is a drum smoker. And I think if you're new to barbecue, drum smokers are really one of the easiest ways to get started. You're cooking with charcoal, you can add wood chunks, and drums tend to be kind of like a set it and forget it, type of cooker. I would recommend, if you're just starting out, you might want to consider the pit barrel cooker. It has a lower entry point. I think I want to say $250, somewhere in that area, where and they ship it to you for free. And really, once you get it out of the box, you're ready to go. You can either put your food down flat on the grate, or you can hang your food. If you follow their instructions, and they have really great instructions on how to light up and start up the pit barrel cooker, you just kind of let it do what it does, and you don't have to tinker with it too much, and you'll get great food. Now, other drums that are more expensive, like the Hunsaker, let me put the camera on mine here, like the Hunsaker here. Like you see, one of the main differences on the Hunsaker, two differences right up at the top there. There is a temperature gauge, and right behind that temperature gauge is a exhaust vent. So that's a big difference from the pit barrel cooker. And obviously the temperature gauge gives you an idea of what the temperature is inside of the drum. Now, it's not at the grate level, so it's not going to give you an exact temperature, but it just gives you a frame of reference, and that's really all you need. You really don't need it to give you an exact temperature. I know that it's pretty close, maybe about 10 to 15 degrees different. So I just take that into account whenever I look at the temperature gauge. Thank you, Josh. Josh YouTube. Prayers to your family. If you had only had one smoker grill, which one would you choose? You have a dream arsenal of options. Love your content. Thank you. I really appreciate that, John. Let me just finish my thought here on the Hunsaker. The other point I was going to make is that having that exhaust makes it really easy for you to dial in the temperature to get it closer to where you want it to be. So basically the difference with a Hunsaker or maybe like a Gateway is that they just give you options to give you more control of what's happening inside of the drum, whereas the pit barrel cooker is more, you set it up, you get your food in there, and you just kind of let it do what it does naturally. That would be the big difference. Getting back to Josh's question, like if I only could pick, if I could only pick one smoker or grill, which one would it be? Well, that's a tough question. I guess it kind of depends. Yeah, I have caveats, so I have different answers depending on what I'm trying to accomplish. But I guess if I only could pick one, I would probably go with a ceramic cooker like the Kamado Joe or the Weber Kamado that I've been talking about. Basically because I think they are the most versatile. They allow you to smoke food at low temperatures pretty easily, but then also if you want to grill food at high temperatures, maybe you're doing a steak and you want to do a reverse sear, you start off, smoking it at low temperatures until it gets, close to where your desired level of doneness is, and then you can ramp up that heat, and do a sear on it and finish it off. So I think cookers like a Kamado or the ceramic cookers, I think they're the most versatile. So if I could only pick one, I'd probably go in that direction. Okay. Wayne says, I agree about drums being a great smoker. A pit barrel cooker was my second smoker and one I still own. I'm thinking of getting a stainless steel Hunsaker at some point. Yeah, so I owned a pit barrel cooker, and I did get rid of it actually, I should say I gave it away to a family member once I decided that I was going to get a Hunsaker. So I got the Hunsaker, and then I even got a second Hunsaker that I found used not too far away. So yeah, I think drums. I guess if my number two pick would be next to ceramics. If you're just looking for something really easy to cook on, then I would go with a drum. Drums, once you get that temperature dialed in, they do an outstanding job of holding temperature, and you really don't have to do a whole lot of fiddling with them. So yeah, they're really great to cook on. So again, guys, I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. I really had no idea, how this was going to fare. So tell me, guys, Thanksgiving is coming up, but we're still in a situation where, obviously, folks don't want, they don't want us to be gathering in large groups. So that tends to lend, I think, to situations where a lot of people, are going to be at home, or maybe their gatherings are a lot smaller than what they've usually been. So are you still going to cook that big turkey that you would have cooked if you had, more than 10, 15 people coming? Are you going to try something a little less traditional this time around? Just throwing that out there. Plotman says, you like the drums better than your LSG? So yeah, I was expecting that question. No. So although, like I said, if I can only pick one, I would go with the ceramic. Or I go with the drum for ease of use. My absolute favorite cooker to cook on, I mean, this is just for the joy of cooking, the overall process, is my LSG. Stick burner smoking is the highest level. It's probably, I guess, what's the saying, the more risk, the more reward. So there's more risk of ruining your food with a stick burner if you're not, paying attention to, the quality of the smoke that's being burnt, because you don't want your food to get, ruined by a whole bunch of dirty smoke. So if you're not in tune with that, you can easily ruin your food. But then, if you do get it right, I mean, is the reward when you've cooked something on a stick burner and it turns out the way you really wanted it to, nothing else like it. So, yeah, my LSG is still my favorite to cook on. Two Step 69 said, don't forget about the Weber kettle. Yes, you're right. Weber kettles are also extremely versatile. Low entry point in terms of the price. Getting a Weber kettle. Probably more accessories are made for the Weber kettle than anything else out there. So you can do anything with the Weber kettle as well. You can cook low and slow, or you can cook hot and fast. And I've got a few Weber kettles as well. Left one over at my parents' house for when I'm visiting with them. And I've got one that I picked up, not out here in my backyard, but I'm thinking if we're able to go back to, cooking at parks and having family gatherings, I'll be bringing a Weber kettle with me. Plot Man, I've always enjoyed your channel. Thank you. I really do appreciate that, you guys. Yes, Weber kettle with slow and sear. I wholeheartedly agree. I've got for the kettle in my garage and the kettle at my parents' house. Both of them are equipped with slow and sears as well. And I know Slow and Sear has also come out with their own version of a kettle. So that's also pretty intriguing, and it looks really well made. And they also have their own version of a Kamado, of a ceramic cooker as well. So they both look great. Wouldn't mind having either one of those cookers as well. Alright guys, it looks like the questions are slowing down. Let me just take a moment here to pause. I did make a short video of myself preparing the rack of St. Louis style ribs that I put on my Hunsaker today. I'm going to show that video right now. And then Wayne says the kettle with the vortex is all I use for wings, and I've done that too. I do have a vortex, and I agree that that's a great way to get wings done. Surefire, because one of the issues with cooking chicken is, how do you get that skin, to be not necessarily crispy, but how do you keep it from being too chewy, too rubbery? And to do that, if you can get them really dry, and you can get them not necessarily grilled underneath, high heat, but in a high heat environment, that will really help, and the vortex takes care of that perfectly. Alright, let me see if I can get this video going. It's not too long, but it's just a short little video of myself just doing the kind of a general overview of trimming, getting your spare ribs trimmed and ready to go out on the smoker. Alright guys, let's see. So Wayne asked me, what are your favorite store-bought rubs? Oh, and Plotman asked, is that a Dalstrong knife? Yes, it is a Dalstrong knife. And Dalstrong has recently become like my knife brand of choice. So I've been buying a lot of their knives lately. I think they're very high quality, and they're good prices too. Excuse me, and they're good prices. So yeah, I really do like the Dow Strong knives. Favorite store-bought rubs? That's a good question. Store-bought. So first, I guess what type of store are we talking about? I mean, are we talking about like a hardware store that has a barbecue section, or are we talking about like, like Walmart? I guess I would say, and usually I tend to not buy mine because I think you can get better deals online. I'm sorry, I'm kind of just babbling here, Wayne. I guess my favorite go-to rubs are probably the How to Barbecue Right, Killer Hogs. I love the barbecue rub. I also use their all-purpose rub, but I am starting to find that it's a little heavy on the salty side, so I'm just really careful about not overdoing it with their all-purpose rub. For ribs, I still really like the Hogs and Heat. I forget the rest of the name of it, and it's kind of hard to find. That one I seem to only be able to get online. I really like the Mississippi Grind rub as well. Today I'm trying something that I found at Walmart, Famous Dave's rib rub. And I don't know, some of you may have eaten at Famous Dave's barbecue restaurants in the past. I don't know if they're still around. But I know before I got into barbecue, I really enjoyed their ribs. So I saw their rub at Walmart of all places, so I picked it up and I'm giving that a shot today. Let's see. Thank you, Plotman, for joining. I really appreciate it. Wayne says, or rubs you can get on the internet, or yeah, okay, at a barbecue store. So yeah, those are some of my favorites. Trying to think if there's something else that I'm not thinking of. I do like I'm blanking out on the name, but it's like I think I'm like Two Steps, where he says, I have so many rubs, I just received the full line of Heath rubs. And yeah, I've been eyeballing Heath Riles rubs. I've been eyeballing those as well. I haven't tried it yet, but they look really good too. All right, so 2 hours have gone by. I'm going to check on these ribs, and let me see if I can give you guys a peek too with my camera, so bear with me. Alright guys, so I hope that's in focus. I can't really see what you're seeing, but this is where we're at after 2 hours. This is Famous Dave's rib rub. Started to get pullback over there on that one end after the first hour, and they still look pretty wet to me, so I'm not going to start spritzing yet. I'm just going to spritz with water. And I know that the first excuse me, the first ingredient for this rub was sugar, so I was expecting it to start to get dark, and it is getting, it's not too dark, but definitely trying to cook these, trying to keep the temperature around 225 or somewhere between 225 and 250. So I see now the temperature, since I had it open, there we go, it's dropped a little bit below 200. I expect it to recover, but I'm going to keep my eye on that just to see if I need to crack open that exhaust vent a little bit more. Okay, yeah, Wayne says you should try Chupacabra rubs if you've not had them. And you know, I've tried them once. I did buy their rubs, and I've tried them once. They were, if I recall right, it was a little peppery for me. But I'll probably have to revisit them again. Maybe maybe won't go quite as heavy. Two Step says, I'm doing honey chipotle wings today for the Miami Dolphin game. That's another thing, guys. I appreciate you guys joining me on a football Sunday. As you can see, I'm geared up, trying to get these ribs. I don't think they're going to be done in time for kickoff for the 49er game, but that was the idea, was to try and get some ribs done for that. Football is king, so I know, you know, programming anything while the football games are going on is probably like suicide, but I do appreciate you guys spending a little time with me here. Wayne, do you think spritzing makes a difference? I've done it, but for me it never really seemed to make a difference. Yeah, you know, I only do it when I think the rub has gotten pretty dry, and I don't know, and I'm thinking that my ribs still have a ways to go. So I don't just follow some hard and fast rule, like I'm just gonna start spritzing, after 3 hours, no matter what. Definitely need to, look at the ribs, give them that eyeball test and really just make a decision as to whether I think it's necessary. But I tend to agree with you about whether or not it makes a difference. I used to spritz when I first started. All the other channels were saying, spritz with apple juice or spritz with apple cider vinegar. And I don't know. I think if anything, spritzing with apple juice, because it has sugar in it, will make your ribs even more darker because that sugar will burn. So that's why now I just spritz with water if I think it needs to be spritzed. And yeah, because I don't know that, spritzing with a certain flavor liquid, whether or not that's really going to do anything. I know some folks will spritz with other types of juice or maybe even beer. I don't know. Two Steps, Famous Dave's. It's a good rub. I've tried a lot of rubs. Yeah, I've tried a lot of rubs too. So this is just, one more that I'm trying again. I just know I always enjoyed Famous Dave's ribs when we would get them in their restaurant. So I'm hoping that that today's experience with their rub will bring back some old memories. Are you guys able to see the comments on the screen? I'm not sure if that is coming through, or maybe it's just off on the side. Like I said, guys, I'm still trying to get used to this. A lot of stuff happening. Okay, Two Steps also says, I spritz to form a good bark. So that's interesting. I mean, do you think that the spritzing really helps with the bark? Or do you think the bark would form, without spritzing? I guess I'm a little bit undecided, on that. Famous Dave's also has a good sauce. I agree. Famous Dave's to me was one of the better chain barbecue restaurants. I know there are some others that I don't know I could say the same about, but Famous Dave's was pretty good for sure. Alright, Wayne asks, any plans on getting any other cookers in the future other than maybe the Weber Summit charcoal. So, I'm I don't know, I guess that's probably where my wife would say I have a problem, because I'm always looking and considering. At times I've been sparked by the idea of getting a cabinet smoker. I still don't have one of those, like the Humphreys or Stubbs. I've kind of kept my eye on those, and I've also kind of looked a little bit into the gravity, like the gravity smokers, but I haven't really. I don't know. I haven't really had my mind quite as set on another one besides the Weber Summit charcoal. But I mean, I'm always looking. Every now and then I'm checking Craigslist to see if, maybe someone out there, they bought a smoker and they aren't using it as much as they thought they would, so now they're trying to get rid of it. Maybe, that's how I got my second Hunsaker. So we'll see. Also, Amazing Ribs, if you subscribe, they also give away a pretty nice smoker every month to people who subscribe. And they have a couple that I definitely wouldn't mind winning. They do have that Slow and Sear Kamado. I think that one is one that they're giving away, so I'm really hoping I can maybe win that sometime. So Two Step says apple juice and apple cider vinegar works for him. KB Barbecue asks, what type of wood do you prefer for your stick burner? It really depends on like what's available near you, right? Because you don't want to spend. It's hard, to get exactly specific types of wood unless you just have a great place, that sources it for you. I think in a perfect world, I would love to have pecan and cherry. I think that combination would work probably for the vast majority of meats that I like to smoke. Unfortunately, where I live, neither pecan nor cherry is in great abundance. Although my dad did, before he hurt his back, he did chop down his cherry tree and he gave me the wood, so I'm actually seasoning it right now, so hopefully sometime next year I'll start to use some of that cherry wood. But it wasn't really a big tree. And also in my area, oak and almond wood is plentiful. I know a lot of people think that almond wood is similar to pecan, but I don't know. There's something about it that it doesn't really, I don't really care for it as much as I hope that I would. Maybe it's the smell. I'm not sure. And then oak, oak is always, good to have as well. So most of my cooks are with oak, and then maybe with a fruit wood that I'm able to get my hands on. Wayne says, I do have a cooker problem with around 15 right now. Yeah, we're in that same boat. I don't think I have quite as many as you do, Wayne, but I probably have around 10. I'm almost afraid to count. And Wayne says, I'm a member of the Amazing Rib site as well. Not a winner yet, though. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm a charter member, so I've been there almost from the beginning. I keep seeing people who've only been members for 3 or 4 months and they never post anything, and they seem to be the big winner. So I'm hoping that, my name or maybe your name, Wayne, will come up soon. And Two Step says, I love pecan and oak for chicken. For chicken, apple, and cherry. Yeah. So fortunately, I was able to find a tree service company not too far from me, up in the Napa, near Napa, the Napa area in Northern California. And like they'll sell you oak and almond wood, like a cord or half a cord, but then they also have bags of wood. I'm not quite sure how much are in the bags. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 1.5 cubic feet. And they have a lot of different flavors, and I find that their prices are also much more reasonable than if you buy them like in a bag from like Lowe's or Home Depot. I had been buying, to get other types of wood, I'd been buying it from Lowe's and Home Depot, but that got to be pretty expensive. So I'm happy I was able to find this company. So this business. So yeah, if you, wherever you are, if you can find a good, a tree service company that cuts down trees or maintains trees, that might be a good resource to get different types of wood at a good, reasonable price. Right, Wayne. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on getting a win with regard to amazing ribs. Alright, let's see how we're doing on time. A little bit after 12 o'clock here in the West Coast. Two Step says, I believe you talked about that company in one of your videos. I probably did. If not, it may have also been another company that I bought my oak wood from. Try to get myself. I see seems like I'm halfway in the shade and halfway in the sun. Sorry guys, I was trying to make an adjustment. But yeah, so when I bought my oak wood, it was from a different tree service company, and they basically just said, for $100, we'll give you as much oak wood as you can fit into the back of your truck. So I don't know if it was a cord or a little bit more than a cord, but I definitely filled that sucker up as much as I could, and I went with it. I'm with you, Two Steps. I love talking barbecue. So again, never imagined that, I'd be doing a YouTube channel. But like I said, the feedback to things that I've put out there have just been so positive, and people, I think, really do enjoy talking about barbecue, thinking about what their next potential cooker or smoker is going to be. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay, this is a good question. Thanks, Wayne. Who do you think has had the most influence on you as far as learning how to barbecue? So, there's a few. I have to say there's a few that I'd say have had the most influence on me. I think, oops, I'm just trying to get better natural light on me out here. Bear with me. Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. That mess up my camera here. Sorry guys. Alright. So as far as the most influence on me, I'd have to start with my father-in-law. Before he passed away, I really had never even thought about, you know, barbecue that way until I would go visit him, and I would listen to he and his nephew, kind of like sharing war stories about, their barbecue escapades, especially smoking ribs. So listening to him is what triggered my initial interest in barbecue. And then as far as like learning how to actually barbecue, it really was just by watching YouTube videos. And I think it started with uh, the barbecue. What are they called? The barbecue pit. I can't remember their name now. BBQ Pit Brothers, I think is their name. There's like two or three guys, in the backwoods somewhere. Kind of look like ZZ Top. I might be getting that name wrong, but started watching their videos, and then started watching Malcolm Reed and his How to Barbecue Right channel. That's probably been the channel that I've watched the most. And then I also, yeah, the Barbecue Pit Boys. And then I was interested in, maybe taking a class, to learn barbecue, like in a hands-on situation. And Harry Sue. Harry Sue is also here in California. He's in Southern California, and he teaches classes right in his own backyard at his house. So I think it was 2 years ago, I treated myself. He had a class that was actually happening on my birthday, so I decided to treat myself, bought airline tickets, paid for his class, went down, spent the night, and took an all-day, cooking class with Harry Sue. And so I'd say that he's right up there too, in terms of being influential. So I guess it would be, those four that I talked about. Let me just take a peek here. All right, just looking at my drum, the temperature it's creeped up to about 240. So I just adjusted the damper back a little bit, because I know that if it says 240 on the gauge, that means it's probably around 260, 255 at the grate level. Oh, Two Step says, let's talk about foil and butcher paper. I'm still really trying to kind of work that out for myself. Although tend to be, I started off more using aluminum foil, especially like wrapping ribs, and then also wrapping like a brisket. But now, I've moved away from that. I think now I'm more in team butcher paper, or just not wrapping at all. Basically what wrapping sometimes will do, if you're not careful, all of that bark that you worked hard, trying to form, then when you wrap it, that wrap, especially on aluminum foil, is kind of like, putting it in a sauna, and a lot of that good bark that you form will dissipate and evaporate when you use foil. So I think I prefer butcher paper You know, because it's not quite as a tight of a seal, you know, and it does let in, you know, some of that, just the heat, more oxygen, so not quite as tight of a seal, and I think it'll help you preserve, you know, your bark a little better, and yeah, so I think I'm more team butcher paper, but you know, it's a judgment call. Like if it really depends on how you feel your food is coming along. You know, it may not be necessary to wrap. I've also kind of moved more into that camp as well. So I'm not always wrapping anymore. You know, maybe unless I'm really trying to get something finished by a certain time. Otherwise, I think my preference is to you know, let it just continue to cook on its own naturally. All right, getting back to Wayne. Wayne says Malcolm Reed has probably been one of the top ones for me. Yeah. I've also taken several classes, okay, from Chris Marks, who has won the American Royal several times, and I learned a ton from him. And Wayne also says, I hardly ever wrap, and if I do, I tend to use butcher paper. Yeah, I think I'm in that same boat. And Two Steps agrees, says that it depends. Yeah, one of the great things I think about YouTube is, I mean, my goodness, you can pretty much, you know, learn how to do just about anything or learn about something. You know, whatever you're thinking of, someone has probably already made a video about it. Um, so, whereas I know a lot of people are always talking about, you know, Netflix and Hulu, I think I watch more YouTube. Well, I know that I watch more YouTube than you know, Netflix or Hulu combined. You know, not just for barbecue, but you know, a good way to get a lot of information about technology as well. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up here. Again, I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me a little bit here on a Sunday. This was a trial run. I really just wanted to see you know, if I could, you know, do a live broadcast and not have it all blow up on me, and B, you know, whether or not, you know, anyone would even bother to watch or ask any questions. And I know the viewership is not, you know, it's not a great deal, very large, but you know, Wayne and Two Steps, I definitely want to say thank you to you both, you know, for engaging with me and asking questions and providing feedback. I don't think I would have been able to make this go this long without you guys. Oh, before I go, Wayne says, with having multiple cookers, do you find it difficult to decide which one do you want to use? Yes, all the time, Wayne. Even this morning when I knew I was going to cook these ribs, initially I was going to cook them on the Kamado Joe, but then I thought, you know, the size of the ribs and the Kamado Joe, I might have to cut them in half. So I didn't want to do that, so I decided to go with the Hunsaker drum. I would have probably gone with my LSG, but I still need to clean it out, and I didn't feel like doing that, so ended up going with the Hunsaker. But yeah, it's always a debate, you know, in my mind, you know, which cooker should I use this time? Always. And Two Step says, nice talk. I would love to see more videos. Yes, I'm going to be working on that. and I'm actually going to do more. I think I'm going to do more live videos as well, because that'll be, an easy way for me to get things going too. Sometimes, the hardest thing about making the YouTube videos, it's not the filming it, it's the editing. The editing part can be, sometimes it's hard to get motivated to sit down and actually edit the video because there's so much stuff that you need to, lop out of it to make it a good video. And then sometimes you just find that what you filmed, because I actually had a video that I started to edit. It was on cleaning out the LSG, but I just decided to abandon it altogether. Half of my video wasn't in focus and just a lot of technical issues. So definitely going to be trying to get more stuff out there, and I think being able to go live will help. Wayne says, thanks for the live feed. It was fun and great interacting with you and the other ones here. Again, I appreciate you, Wayne. He also says, I do find it difficult as well and sometimes spend too much time obsessing over it. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of in that same boat, wasting too much brain energy, figuring out which one to use. And then 2 steps, I'm going to treat myself to an LSG for Father's Day 2021. Now you're talking. Definitely can't go wrong. LSG, I think, as you know, they're very well made, and they stand behind their products. Easy to connect with if you do have any concerns or issues. Chris Goodlander will take care of you. I can't say enough good things about LSG. So I think that would be a great Father's Day gift. I guess unless you've already figured it out, the next toughest part will be deciding, which one of their great cookers are you going to go with, because they have a lot to choose from. Are you going to go with like the 20-inch offset smokers like the one that I have? Or are you going to go traditional with the pipe smoker, the 24-inch pipe smokers? They've got cabinet smokers, insulated, a lot of stuff to pick from. My wife is going to kill me. Yeah, it's going to be hard to sneak that LSG into your backyard, without her noticing it. But, once you get the hang of it, and maybe you're already experienced with stick burners, but once you start cranking out some great food, she'll forgive you. I mean, that was pretty much the key with my wife. She less cooking for her to do, good food. She appreciates it, so she really hasn't given me too much heat. As I continue to build on my my smoker obsession. And then Wayne says, after she kills you, have her send that cooker on my way. Right, I'm with you. Yeah, we'll take care of that problem for you. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off again. Appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in. For the other folks out there, again, my name is Kenyatta Robinson. Thank you for joining me on my Backyard SmokeMaster BBQ channel. I will try to get more videos out sooner. I won't try to have as much time go by. I'm always re-energized, after interacting with you guys. So again, I do appreciate the support. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So I did all that, you guys, and now I don't know how to end the live. but I'll figure it out. Thanks again, Two Steps and Wayne. Take care, guys.